They lied and stole and smoked cigars, even the girls. They talked dirty and cussed their teachers and took the name of the Lord in vain and set fire to Fred Shoemaker's old broken-down schoolhouse. There were 6 of them: Ralph, Emily, Leroy, Claudia, Ollie, and Lex. And they went through the Woodrow Wilson schools like those South American fish that strip your bones clean. And they went around town the same way, stealing things and tearing things up and whamming kids. So it was difficult to get away from them. There was really only one safe place: the church.
Sweet hour of prayer, sweet hour of prayer. Because there are no herdmans there, and Jesus loves me, as they say, because he keeps the miles away.
That's my little brother Charlie. That's what he said when the Sunday school teacher asked him what was his favorite thing about church. Charlie said, "No herdmans." And that made the teacher pretty mad because all of the other kids were saying good things about God or Jesus or good feelings. But old Charlie, he told the real truth. No herdmans.
I know it's the 70s, but kids need to be respectful.
I don't care what everyone else said. That's what they really thought. All the other stuff is okay, but the main good thing about church is that the herdmans aren't there, ever.
That's not a very Christian sentiment, it seems to me.
It's a very practical sentiment. Charlie was black and blue all last year in school because he had to sit next to Leroy Herdman.
Is he the worst one, Leroy?
They're all the worst one.
Well, Ralph's the toughest, so Ralph gets
That doesn't make any difference. Gladys isn't big, but she's fast, and she's mean, and she bites.
I'm sorry I mentioned it. Just avoid all of them.
That's what I said. Stay away from them. Go to church.
I'm glad to hear you feel that way.
Why?
No more arguments about the Christmas pageant.
I don't want to be a shepherd again.
Well, then ask Mrs. Armstrong if you can't be a wise man.
I don't want to be in it.
Everybody's in it. Think how I'd feel on Christmas Eve if my own children weren't in the pageant. Think how your father would feel. You'd feel terrible, wouldn't you, Bob?
Well, actually, I was thinking about not going this year. You know how crowded it gets. They could use my seat. I'll just stay home, put on my bathrobe, and relax. There's just nothing different about that Christmas pageant.
There's going to be something different about it this year.
What?
Charlie's going to wear your bathrobe.
You just thought that up, Grace.
Why don't you be Joseph? Elmer Hopkins will pay you a whole $1 to be Joseph. He's gotta be sick of being Joseph all the time just because he's the minister's son. Nobody wants to be Joseph.
Nobody wants to be in it.
What are you going to be this year?
Well, I'm always in the angel choir.
Why can't Charlie be in the angel choir?
Because I can't sing.
From what I heard in the past, that's not a serious drawback. Away in the manger sounded like a closet full of mice to me.
What are you wearing, Angel Choir?
Bed sheets.
Oh boy, some choice. A bathrobe or a bed sheet? Come on, let's go watch TV.
You know, Mrs. Armstrong works very hard to give you all a lovely experience.
Mom, you know Mrs. Armstrong just likes to run things.
She's right, of course. She directs the pageant. She runs the potluck dinner. She's in charge of the bazaar. You know, I think Helen Armstrong would preach the sermon if anybody would let her.
Is that George Armstrong's wife?
Yes,
Well, she better learn to manage the hospital, because that's where she's at. I ran into George at the drugstore. He said his wife broke her leg this morning. She's going to be in traction for 2 weeks. Laid up till the first of the year.
They'll have to cancel Christmas.
She's in charge of Christmas.
Well, she runs the pageant, she runs the bazaar. I mean, I feel sorry for Helen, but who's going to do those things?
Yes, Edna, I'll take over the bazaar if you'll do the potluck supper, or would you rather do the pageant?
Good Lord, Irma. I'd be dead away in my grave by Christmas if I tried to be responsible for all those children. I'll do the potluck. I'm good at making phone calls. But who will we get to do the pageant?
Well, I did talk to Carol Clark, but she's having company all week. She suggested Grace.
Well, that's very interesting because I was visiting with Ruth Closet this afternoon, and she suggested Grace.
Well, since you're so good at making phone calls, why don't you call Grace?
I'll do that. Hello? Grace?
Bob,
What?
I have to direct the Christmas pageant.
Does that mean I'd have to go?
Now, our Christmas pageant isn't exactly what you'd call four-star entertainment. It was always the same old thing. The same old Christmas carols, the same old Christmas stories, and the same old Mary and Joseph. And that's what my mother was stuck with. That and Mrs. Armstrong.
I must tell you again, Grace, how important it is to give everyone a chance. Here's what I do. I always start with Mary, and I tell them we must choose our Mary carefully. Mary was the mother of Jesus.
I know that, Helen.
Yes, and then I tell them about Joseph, that Joseph was God's choice to be Jesus' father. That's how I explain that. Frankly,
I thought Mrs. Armstrong was in traction. How can she talk on the phone if she's in traction?
What do you think traction is?
Like when they put you to sleep.
Not exactly. Beth, we're going to need napkins and some salt and pepper.
and I tell them there are no small parts, only small actors.
You will save some for the rest of us, won't you, Charlie?
I'm hungry. Leroy Herdman stole my lunch again.
Why do you let him do that to you day after day?
How can I stop him? Where's the chicken?
Grace, where's the chicken?
It's still in the oven.
I'll get it.
And you'll have to get someone to push the baby angels on. Otherwise, they get in each other's way and bend their wings. Bob could do that. And he could watch over the shepherds too. Oh, another thing about the
Helen, I
angel
have to go.
choir.
There's someone at the door.
Don't let them
Have to go, Helen. I'll talk to you later.
Because it's a leg that you have to wear.
I'm coming.
Lady, could you spare some supper? I haven't had a square meal in 3 days.
For heaven's sakes, it's you.
I was getting lonely at that table.
Well, I guess Helen Armstrong's getting lonely at the hospital.
Not as long as the phones keep working.
I'll bet she told you. There are no small parts, only small actors.
And about getting someone to shove the baby angels on and make the shepherds shut up.
Yes, she suggested your father could do that.
Does that mean I'd have to go?
And friends, don't use just anybody's baby for Jesus. Get a quiet one. Better yet, get two. That way, if one becomes fussy, you can switch them.
Now, my mother didn't pay very much attention to Mrs. Armstrong. She said Mrs. Armstrong was stuck in the hospital with nothing to do but think up problems. And of course, there weren't going to be any problems. Then again, my mother didn't count on the Herdmans. That was Charlie's fault.
You stole my dessert again. How do you know? It isn't in here. What was it? 2 Twinkies. Ha, that's right. That's what it was. Hey, Leroy, you think it's so great to steal my dessert every day. And you know what? I don't care if you steal my dessert. I'll even give you my dessert. I get all the dessert I want in Sunday school.
Oh yeah? What kind of dessert?
All kinds. Chocolate cake and candies and cookies and Twinkies and Big Wheels. We get refreshments all the time. All we want. You're a liar. And ice cream and donuts and cupcakes.
Who gives it to you?
The minister.
Why? Is he crazy?
No. I think he's rich.
Sunday school.
Huh?
That was the wrong thing to tell the herders. And sure enough, the very next Sunday, there they were in Sunday school, just in time to hear about the Christmas pageant. What's a pageant?
It's a play.
Like on TV? What's it about?
It's about Jesus.
Everything here is.
And it's about Mary. Mostly it's about Mary.
Who's Mary?
I am. Well, probably I am. I know the part.
David, come. This won't take very long if you all just settle down.
My mommy thinks she has to slide good. Does she? No, she does have to have it. Let's try her to see what a big day.
Today, we're going to decide who will play the main parts of our Christmas pageant. But of course, everyone will have an important part to play. Remember what Mrs. Armstrong always tells you, there are no small parts, only small actors. Isn't that what Mrs. Armstrong always says?
Well, yes, but she really never tells us what it means.
Well, don't you know what it means?
I know what it means. It means the short kids have to be in the front row of the angel choir, else no one can see them.
Well, it really means that the baby angels are just as important as Mary.
I don't think anyone is as important as Mary.
Well, naturally, that's what you think, Alice. I think Jesus is most important.
I still think it means the short kids have to be in the front row.
Girls, everyone is important. Mary, Jesus, and the short kids. Gladys, would you go out and see if Beverly's there, please, and then come right back? You little ones will be in our angel choir, so you'll need to ask your mothers. What's the matter here? Oh, they look for the herdmans here. Now, whatever happened to Beverly?
She got sick.
Did she say she got sick?
No, she just left. I just said, hi, Beverly, and she just left.
Janet?
No.
Roberta?
Uh-uh.
Alice, don't you want to be in the play?
No. I'll be married. Shut up, Gladys. I'm already married. You be a wise man.
Well, the wise men were usually boys, but they don't have to be, and we could.
I'll be a wise man.
Me too. Claudia, if you want to be a wise man, raise your hand.
What even is a wise man?
Just raise your hand.
I am.
What's left to be?
Some angel.
I'll be that. What is it?
It's the angel of the Lord who brought the good news to the shepherds. Oh, there we have some volunteers. Patty, would you like to be in the play?
No, I just wanted to say I can't be in the play. We're going to Philadelphia.
Why didn't you tell me that before?
I just remembered. Mom doesn't want me to be a shepherd.
Why not?
I don't know, she just said, don't be a shepherd.
I'm not going to be a shepherd.
Oh, yes, you are.
I don't want to be a shepherd. Gladys Herdman hits too hard.
Well, she's not going to hit anybody. The angel of the Lord just comes down and visits the shepherds.
Hits them.
No, Elmer, that's ridiculous. No shepherds may quit or get sick. Now, that's all for today, boys and girls, and you can go. But remember to be here next Wednesday at 6:30. Alice!
Mrs. Bradley!
Oh, come on, Alice. I don't know.
I didn't dare raise my hand. Imogen would have killed me. She said, I'm going to be married in this play. And if you open your mouth or raise your hand, you'll wish you didn't. And I said, I'm always married in the Christmas pageant. And she said, fine then, be married. But next spring, when the pussy willows come out, I'll shove a pussy willow bush so far down your ear that nobody can reach it. And it will sprout there and grow and grow. And you'll spend the rest of your life a pussy willow bush growing out of your ear.
You know she wouldn't do that.
She would too. Hermans would do anything. You just watch. They'll do something horrible and ruin the whole Christmas pageant. And it's all your mother's fault.
Hello, Jane. Yes, Edmund McCarthy here. Yes, well, listen, have you heard about... I don't know how it happened, but it's got to be all Grace's fault. How else would all 6 of those Herdman children get in our pageant when they ought to be in jail?
Vera, Irma Slocum. I just heard that Imogen Herdman is going to be married in our Christmas pageant. And is that a fact? All 6 of them? Why, Vera, I live next door to that outfit. I'd rather live next door to a zoo. Has Grace gone crazy?
Where did they come from? Who let them in? Imogen Herdman? What type of child is that? To be married? The mother of Jesus? Where was Reverend Hopkins? He was what? Visiting shut-ins. Well, I'm shut in, and he wasn't visiting me.
And real church doors. Lock up the silver doors. Or they clean us out.
If I'd been up and around, this never would have happened.
And if I'd been up and around, this never would have happened. Well, let me tell you.
Don't tell me. I'm on your side, Grace. Now the car's over here.
Helen Armstrong is not the only person who can direct that Christmas pageant. I decided I was going to do the very best I could under these circumstances. But now, I'm going to make this the best Christmas pageant ever. After all, the Herdmans were the only ones that volunteered and raised their hands, and I don't care.
Good for you, Grace. The car's over here.
You're going to help me.
Does that mean I have to go?
You have to go. The inn is back here, and the shepherds come around and gather around the manger.
Where did all the shepherds come from anyway?
Bible is. And they never went to church in their whole life till your dumb brother told them that we got refreshments. Now we waste all this time for nothing.
All right now. There went out a decree from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be taxed. And Joseph went up from Galilee with Mary, his wife, being great with child.
Pregnant. She was pregnant, right?
Oh, right now, that's enough. We all know that Mary was pregnant. And it came to pass that while they were there, that the days were accomplished and that she should be delivered. And she brought forth her firstborn son.
I don't think it's very nice to say that Mary was pregnant.
Well, she was pregnant.
I don't think your mother should say that Mary was pregnant. It's better to say raped with child. I'm not supposed to talk about being pregnant, especially in church.
And wrapped him in swaddling clothes and laid him in a manger because there was no room for them in the inn.
They didn't even have room for Jesus.
Well, they didn't even know it was Jesus.
Didn't Mary know? Didn't Joseph know? What was the matter with Joseph that he didn't tell them? Her being pregnant and everything.
What's a manger anyway? Some kind of bed?
Well, they didn't have a bed, so they had to use whatever they had. What would you do if you had a new baby and you didn't have any bed to put him in?
We put Gladys in the bureau drawer.
Oh, well, there you go. You use something else.
Oh, we had a bed. Only I was still in it. I didn't like Gladys. Remember how you didn't like Gladys? I think that was pretty smart of Ollie, not liking Gladys right off the bat.
Anyway, a manger is a large wooden feeding trough used for animals.
What would have wadded up clothes for?
The what?
It said in there she wrapped him up and wadded up clothes.
Oh, the swaddling clothes. People used to wrap up their babies very tightly in large pieces of material to make them feel cozy.
You mean they tied him up and threw him in a feed box? That was the child welfare.
The child welfare is at our house every 5 minutes.
There wasn't any child welfare.
I'll say there wasn't.
And then there were shepherds, keeping watch over their flocks by night. And lo, the angel of the Lord came upon them, and the glory of the
Shut down!
What?
Out of the black night with horrible vengeance, the mighty marvel!
I don't know what you're talking about, Gladys.
The mighty marvel! In amazing comics, out of the black night with horrible vengeance.
This is the angel of the Lord who visits the shepherds.
Out of nowhere, right? In the black night, right?
Well, in a way.
Shazam!
Now when Jesus was born, there came wise men from the east, bearing gifts of gold and frankincense,
What's that?
and myrrh.
What's that?
Well, they were precious oils and spices.
Oil? What kind of a present is oil? We get better presents than that from the welfare.
Well, they were,
Were they the welfare? The wise men?
no, they were kings, and they were sent.
It's about time somebody important showed up. If they're kings, then they can get that baby out of the barn and tell the innkeepers where to get off.
They were sent by Herod, and he was the main king, but he actually came and tried to have Jesus put to death.
He just got born. You mean they're going to kill a baby?
Who's Herod in this play anyway?
There is no Herod in this play.
He's out to kill a baby, and he isn't even in the play?
I think somebody better be Herod. Let Charlie be Herod. And he says, go get me that baby. Then they say, okay, because he's a king and all.
But then they don't do it. They go back and get Herod.
I am not going to be Herod.
There is no Herod in this play.
Kill Herod! Kill Herod! Kill Herod! Kill Herod!
I wouldn't just hang around in that old barn. I'd go get a room. Well, guess what? She said that there wasn't any room. Then I'd throw somebody out. I'd say, hey, I've got this baby, and it's the middle of the winter. So you either get out or move over.
I'd go after old Heron.
I'd send the angel after him. She can point her electric finger and turn him into a pile of ashes.
Yeah, that.
No.
What's the name of this play? She never said.
Christmas pageant.
That's no name. That's what it is.
I know a name. I call it Revenge at Bethlehem. Revenge at Bethlehem. The Herdmans must have thought the Christmas story came straight out of the FBI files. Well, at least they picked out the right villain. It was Herod they wanted to gang up on and not the baby Jesus. Though it didn't really matter that much anyway. Our baby Jesus quit the pageant. It was supposed to be Eugene Slocum, but Mrs. Slocum said she wasn't going to let Emma Jean Herdman get her hands on it. So we didn't have a baby Jesus, and that bothered my mother. So she kept trying to scrape up a baby, even at the very last rehearsal. What do you keep writing in that notebook?
It's like a diary.
It is not. It's all about the Herdmans. Emma Jean swears and curses all the time. Ralph talks about sexy things.
Oh.
Mrs. Bradley called Mary pregnant. Gladys Herdman was caught drinking communion wine. It isn't wine, it's grape juice.
I don't care what it is. She drinks it. I've seen her 3 times with her mouth all purple. And they steal too. If you shake the birthday cake, it doesn't make a sound because they stole all the pennies out of it. And every time you go in the ladies' room, the air is all blue and you see Imogen Herdman sitting there in the Mary costume, smoking cigar.
And you wrote all of this down? What for?
My mother, Reverend Hopkins, and the Ladies' Aid Society. And anybody else who wants to know what happened when this whole play turned out to be a big mess.
All right, everyone, let's get quiet. This is our last rehearsal.
Yoo-hoo, Grace. Hi. I just wanted you to know that the ladies and I are in the kitchen making the applesauce cake today. So we'll do everything we can not to bother you. I thought this was supposed to be your dress rehearsal.
Well, it's supposed to be. Hey, Edna, didn't I hear that your niece had a baby about 5 weeks ago?
Yes, she's 5 weeks old.
Oh, I just wondered, what do you think about it? I would call her and ask her if we could borrow that baby.
Oh, Grace. No. I suppose I could lie and say that she's cranky or she's sick or something. But the truth is, she is happy, she's healthy, and she is beautiful. And we want her to stay that way. So, there is no way we're going to put that child in the hands of Emma Jean Herdman. I am sorry, Grace, but no, we're not going to agree to that.
My brother for Jesus.
I didn't know you had a little brother, David.
Oh, he's not 2, he's 4 years old, but he's over young and how
Oh, I don't think so.
I'll get us a baby.
How you gonna do that, Imogen?
There's always 2 or 3 babies and carriages outside of supermarkets. I'll get one of them.
Imogen, you can't just walk off with somebody's baby. And Imogen, smaller then. And, Imogene, is that what you're wearing? Is that what you're all wearing? This is supposed to be our dress rehearsal.
I can't find my halo. And my wings get all bent. Jana's got my robe.
I do.
My mother doesn't have any white sheets. Can I wear sheet balloons on it?
I haven't got any costume. I was never a shepherd before.
You have to wear your dad's bathrobe. That's what I have to do.
He hasn't got a bathrobe.
Well, what does he hang around in the house in?
His underwear.
Okay, well, let's just pretend that we have our costumes on.
Like Mary Poppins.
That'd be me.
I like umbrellas.
This is a Mary Poppins carol. This is Silence of the Lambs. We are the lambs.
Oh.
This isn't Mary Poppins, and why do the herdmen look like chimney sweeps? Are we going to roast the whole thing?
Yes, we are, David. We're going to go through the whole thing, but first we're going to start with just the entrances. So we'll start with the shepherd. Go ahead, Maxine.
There were shepherds in the field, keeping watch over their flocks by night.
Shepherds!
Hurry up!
Shepherds!
You stop it! Stop it!
Oh, no!
Out of the black night!
No, Gladys. Angels! Wise man! No! No! Mary doesn't say you don't say anything. Mary and Joseph just make a lovely picture for us to look at Christmas. Now put the doll down.
I don't get to say anything. Some angel tells me what to call the baby. I would have named him Bill. Bill? What angel was that? There's angels all over the place. Was that Gladys?
No, Gladys is the angel of the Lord who brings the good news to the shepherds.
Yeah! Unto you a child is born!
Unto me, not unto them. Me. I'm the one that had the baby.
No, Imogene, Jesus belongs to everyone. Unto us all a child is born.
Then why didn't Mary get to name her all a baby? What did the angel do? Just walk up to her and say, hey, name him Jesus.
Yes.
I know what the angel said. She said his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace.
Good grief. He'd never get out of the first grade if he had to write all that down.
Miss Bradley, should I start over?
5 minutes, Maxine. 5 minutes, everybody.
he just didn't know what to think.
Grace, I have been on the telephone all day long, and I can't make head or tails of it. Some people say they set fire to the ladies' room. Some people say they set fire to the kitchen. Well, Vera Wendelman says all they do all day long is talk about sex and underwear.
That was Patty's bar talking about underwear. And there was no fire, it was just the ladies in the kitchen burning an applesauce cake.
Well, the whole church is in an uproar. Oh, I don't know. Jesus said, suffer the little children to come unto me. But I'm not so sure he meant the Herdmans.
Oh.
Grace, don't you think we should cancel the pageant?
I bet that was Helen Armstrong's idea.
We could blame it on the fire. Makes a good excuse.
I bet that was Ed McCartney's idea.
Everyone seems to think it's going to be
Disaster?
Yeah.
Oh, they're wrong. It's going to be the best Christmas pageant ever.
But Grace, I'm afraid no one is going to come to see it.
And neither did Charlie. But boy, were we wrong. Come Christmas Eve, the entire church was jam-packed. Everybody came to see what the Herdmans would do.
Here, watch your step here. Let me see if I can't find a light. Here we go.
I can't even see where I'm going. I do not know what in the world you plan on doing with this thing.
I thought it would look like a palm tree, but now I see that it doesn't. Oh, I don't know what's going to happen here tonight. We haven't even gone through the whole thing yet. The Herdmans still think it's some kind of a spy story. It could be the first time in the history of the Christmas pageant that Mary runs away with the baby and Joseph gets into a fight with the wise men. Where are the kids?
Every kid in the world's in the basement putting on a bathrobe.
No, I mean our kids.
Oh.
We're here.
Oh, come on over. It's getting late. We better get our costumes on.
It's going to be just awful, you know? They look like trick or treat. All fastened together with safety pins and wearing their moldy old sneakers. Mom, they look like refugees or something.
Well, that's what they were, Mary and Joseph. They were refugees in a way. They were a long way from home. They had no place to go. They didn't know anyone. And they probably were cold, tired, hungry, and messy.
I don't know about cold and hungry, but they sure are messy.
Oh, do you think that
You know, I think you worry too much. I'm going to push baby angels out on the stage and I'm going to work the curtain. Where do I do all that?
Here, just follow this script.
Ah, thank you. Let's see. Baby angels, wise men. I can't seem to find where the fire engines come in.
Everyone come here now. I want to see how you all look in your costumes. Beth and Alice, do you want to come down front? We can help with the baby angels. Gladys, where's your halo?
All our cats buried it. Listen, I have to say something besides the baby came. Why would they go on and tear after some baby they don't even know? I should tell them it's Jesus, and I should tell them where he is.
You say, unto you a child is born, and that's all that you say. Okay, everybody, let's all go backstage and be very quiet while our audience is coming. And good luck!
Mrs. Bradley, after the send club, they say break a leg.
I know that, Alice, but in this case, it doesn't break a leg, yours or anyone else's. And Imogene, try to remember that that is a baby, and for tonight, it's the baby Jesus.
Wasn't she something? She had a lot of spirit, didn't she? You know, many times I don't even hear the angel of the Lord. Oh my, I must go find Grace.
I just wish now I'd let them have Eugene to be the baby Jesus.
Oh, who was the baby Jesus?
Why, it was a doll.
Oh no, Irma. That was no doll.
Well, it did seem real.
Certainly did. Oh, come with me. Let's go find Grace.
Grace! It did seem real, as if it might have happened just that way. We all thought the Christmas pageant was about Jesus, but that was only part of it. It was about a new baby and his mother and father who were in a whole lot of trouble. Nowhere to go, nobody they knew, and no money. And then, arriving from the east, like my uncle from New Jersey, some rich friends. But with the Herdmans, it was a whole new story. Emma Jean birthing the baby, and the wise men bringing such a sensible present. After all, they couldn't eat frankincense. But I guess it wasn't like that for Emma. For her, the Christmas pageant turned out to be all wonder and mystery, as if she was just now learning what Christmas was really all about. When it was all said and done, we had a party in the basement. But the Herdmans didn't stay. They didn't have any cocoa and they didn't walk off with all the cookies. They wouldn't even take their candy canes.
Well, I guess that's about it. Any more kids down in the basement?
No, they're all gone. Did you know you're still wearing your bathrobe? You're not going to wear that home, are you?
Why not? Maybe people will think I was a shepherd. Who wouldn't mind being mistaken for a shepherd in this Christmas pageant?
Oh yeah, you would. After it was over, some lady came up to me and hugged me. I was a shepherd. What should I do with this ham?
Oh, it's the Herdman ham from their welfare basket. And it's a gift. And Leroy said, it's a present and you don't take back a present.
Leroy said that? They must hate ham.
You and Alice Gwendolyn.
Well, what about the lights?
Oh, they're on a timer. They're set to go off at midnight.
Well, that's not far from now. It's almost Christmas.
It's almost Christmas, Charlie.
It's almost Christmas, kids.
Repeat the sounding joy. Repeat, repeat the sound.